And hello, welcome back to yet another Apex Legends video. So this is just going to be like a kind of a grand soiree wrap up. The event is now officially over and was a lot of fun. I gotta admit, it was a great idea from Respawn to kind of end out Season 3 and kind of slowly start introducing Season 4. So kind of briefly want to run through each of the 7 events and kind of rank them 7 through 1 in kind of my opinions only. So opinions vary and people have fun doing different types of things. So don't harass me about any of my opinions. Like I said, it's just my opinion. So yeah, like I said, 7 events, 2 days each, 2-week span. So it was just kind of a downside for people who don't get a chance to play, but maybe once or twice a week. Normally that's kind of what I do, is about twice a week, but fortunately was able to kind of play a little bit each evening or like after work some days, even just for like an hour to try out each event. So did get to try it, played at least 5-6 games of each event, some more than others, but here we go. So number 7, again, my opinion was Live Die Live. Wasn't super fun, I don't think. Unfortunately, like when you're playing that with not a squad and you're playing with randoms, people didn't quite get the concept. They go down, they die, and they leave the game, which kind of defeats the whole purpose. All you have to do is have one person survive. So I had a lot of experiences where people left. I did win an event. We did have, I think it was like my second game, ended up winning one. So we did have a lot of luck with that. But then I had several experiences where people left. So that was kind of a downside. But it was interesting. It was unique and different. I hadn't seen a game mode like that before. I don't play a whole lot of Battle Royale games outside of Apex, so I can't verify that others haven't done this. But it was just kind of bland, in my opinion. Number 6 was Gold Rush Duos. I did like the return of Duos. Had a few good experiences with some randoms with that one. Also got to play with some friends on that one as well. It was decent. I felt like there was like a huge influx of Kravers, and it was really just a Kraber Mastiff show. I like to try different things, and like I'm a big fan of the Gold EVA 8. The G7, which a lot of people use anyway. But you know what? Honestly, the nice thing about the whole Gold Rush Duos was I actually started using the Kraber a little bit more. So yeah, I mean, I felt like there was just a big influx, which kind of moves me to my number 5, was Armed and Dangerous. So I played this the last time. I wasn't a huge fan back in Season 1 or whatever it was. So it was okay. But this one, again, like I felt like every gun I'd see was like a Kraber. But again, was able to get a win in this one. I think I did get a win in every single game mode, which was nice. This one was just okay in my opinion. If you don't enjoy sniping, then this was kind of a downside, because everybody was running around with Kravers and G7 scouts. So there was kind of the huge downside, was just mass amounts of G7s running around. So while I enjoy the gun, I don't necessarily like to have a full three-man squad shooting at me with 3 of them. So number 4, and this one I think was a lot of people's like one that they hated the most, was the third-person mode. While it was really buggy, I think the legend was a little too far away from the screen, so it took up too much of the screen. The aim was a little off. The trying to loot was a little weird, and ping things was a little weird. So there was definitely some bugs and fixes that needed to happen. But I really enjoyed it. Like for some reason, like my kills and damage went like skyrocketing through third-person mode. I don't know why. Like I just, I only average, like my kill death ratio is like a 1.2 or whatever, and like I only averaged like 400 damage and like 2 kills a game or whatever. But I was through third person, I was averaging like more like 4 and like 900 damage. Like I don't know, like everything kind of doubled for me in third person mode. So I had fun with it. It was goofy to kind of see them running, like especially the Mirage little dance was hilarious. Number 3 was Dummy's Big Day. This one was just funny. It was different. It was new. It did get old kind of quick, but it was a very clever way to end the whole Grand Soiree event, I believe. It was unique because there was no talking back and forth, so you just kind of had to read all the pings and stuff like that. So there was no character interaction in that way. But it was funny. I think like my second or third game ended up getting a win. Had some kind of strong carries and increase in damage in this one too. I think probably just because everybody's ultimate and tacticals were, you know, not as successful. They were just more humorous. So, you know, this goes to show, yeah, I'm winning gunfights a little better, but not so much in the way of going against tacticals on ultimates. But it was funny. It was a good event and a mysterious one that a lot of people had a lot of questions about. So it was definitely a clever one. Number 2 for me was the Kings Canyon After Dark. The downside was it was just the exact same as the Shadowfall event, just, you know, none of the shadows. So that was kind of the downside. You know, it was basically just lit up by candles. There was no jump towers. There was no, like, it was the same map, so it wasn't like the bridges were back or the old cascades or anything like that. It was the same. So that was kind of the downside. But it was very nostalgic because it was, you know, actual games again in Kings Canyon, which I enjoy both maps. Some people, you know, it seems like right now, a lot of people really are calling for Kings Canyon, and that's fine. I think it's that nostalgic, and people are getting tired of World's Edge. It's just totally 2 different game modes. I know I'm definitely a lot better now after playing World's Edge. I'm a lot more successful. My kill death ratio has gone way up. My kills, my win percentage, you know, everything has gone way up in World's Edge, and that's just a combination of skill. But I've enjoyed the map. I've learned, you know, to use different guns. I've learned how to snipe. I could not snipe on Kings Canyon. So kind of going back to it, I feel like maybe that will be good for me. I'll have some advantages there. Especially kind of using some of the newer players who won't be quite as experienced with that map. So hopefully that'll give me a little bit of advantage going into it. But it was fun. It was nostalgic, being able to kind of run through the whole map again. And finally, number 1 for me was Always Be Closing. That one was so fun and so intense. Like, it was crazy how many teams, like, you'd get in a tiny circle, and as it's closing down, and it's like, how in the world are there still 7 teams? Like, you know, any other match, you know, like public match or whatever, you know, it would be 2 teams at that point, and yet somehow there's 7 teams and probably 15 legends alive or 10 legends. Like, how is this happening? So it was some wild events, and people became very strategic in 2 days learning how to set up that final ring and stuff. So it was a lot of fun, kept people moving, lots of, it kind of picked up the gunfights in World's Edge, which you definitely can slow play a lot more in World's Edge, but with the Always Be Closing, it became different. So that was it. Again, the Grand Soiree event was a really good time for me. I enjoyed it. Hopefully we will see some things like this in the near future. But for now, looking forward to season 4 and some new legends. So that is it. Appreciate it. I hope everybody else had a good time with the Grand Soiree event. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.